Have you ever noticed that when I start a video, I always do, like every time? I just realized that. So I'm starting it differently this time, so that way I don't do it. This is Neil, back after a bit of a hiatus, off for 4 days. Some of you may want an explanation. I'm not going to give you one. But those of you who really want to know, I've spent actually the last several days watching Breaking Bad in the evenings, chilling, and desperately trying to figure out how to work out saplings. That day may come when I figure that out, but that day is not today. So, in an effort to keep things rolling, I'm starting a new topic. A new one. And it's an oddly specific topic. We're going to do another furnace. It's going to be a dual input furnace. And it is going to run off of fuel, but it's going to store the fuel. And I'll kind of explain that when I get into here. So, that being said, let's take a peek and see what one of these looks like. Yes, there are errors, don't hate. This is actually out of a mod that I started working on, and I realized that I'm not very good at modding because I lack commitment and creative direction. I'm much better, just recording videos and teaching everybody here how to use them. And I destroyed it. And we gotta fix the sound because it's way too loud. Down, shh, hush, and music off. So, oddly specific. This is an advanced tutorial, straight up. Some of you, if you're not really solid on Java, you're going to have a hard time. Okay? There's a lot of really good Java tutorials out there. I recommend VSWE summer courses as well. This is an alloy smelter. As you'll see that we have, kind of like we did, except this one is vertical. This is our fuel right here. And we have 2 input slots and 1 output slot. Now, I kind of constructed this thing by looking at a hodgepodge of different tutorials, some from Scratch for Fun, who's awesome. You should check him out. Cool Alias, I would say, has some credit in this. And if you spend any time on the Minecraft forum, .net website, you'll know what I'm talking about. And, oh gosh, I totally lost his name. I can see him. I can see his picture. It's the silly German guy from Hogan's Heroes. Why can I not think of his name? He did like the dual input tutorial for 164. Do we just need to go look him up? Maybe that's what we have to do. I can't go any farther without giving him credit because he was such a big part of this. His tutorial, getting this working. Micro Junk. Of course, I get partway through looking for it, and I remember his name. So, anyways, this is my alloy smelter that I've created. It runs off of a specific type of fuel. This is a custom fuel that I created. My buddy Chris designed the texture, so kudos to him for that. So really what you'll do is you can put the fuel in there and you'll see that it actually eats the item. And as you add fuel to it, the amount of fuel inside this goes up. And you'll see that it comes to an on state. Now I really need to work out this texture because it's not actually cooking right now. So we'll need to work that out. Really all it sees is just that it has fuel in it. We'll get some more fuel here. Like so. And we'll drop some more in. And some more in. And you'll see that it just kind of continues to eat all this up and it stores the fuel inside of it. So you can, in effect, just pack a whole bunch of fuel into this and let it run. And what I have designed this to do is that I can take 2 ingots and then I can smelt them into one. So a zinc ingot and an iron ingot will give you 2 cobalt ingots. Now you can actually adjust this recipe to have it just be 1. I'm kind of operating under the idea that I'm taking 2 items. I'm giving up 2 items, so I'm getting 2 items back. But depending on how you want to balance your mod, difficulty, all that, that's up to you. So this is what we're going to work on. If you don't like this fuel gauge, you can very easily convert this back by looking at my existing tutorials, and I'll kind of cover this as we go along for the furnace in terms of how the tile entity is created and how it manages fuels to create these new item stacks and all that. So I'm going to take a little pause, and I'm going to jump back into my other Eclipse, and I will see you guys in just a moment. And we're back. No, this time. Threw that in there. So, let's get started. And we're actually going to scroll right down to where we were with our machines. And we are going to do some declarations. We got to do exactly like we did, because more or less this is an oven, right? Or, is it an oven? No, oven is what I called it. It's actually a furnace, because this is what it is, right? It's a furnace. It's taking one type of one thing and converting it into another. Why did I type furnace? We're going to call this, just like I did in my other mod, the alloy smelter. You know what? We're not going to call it the alloy smelter. We're going to call it the ingot discombobulator. You know why? Because I said so. That's why. I know that I'm going to regret that, because I'm going to have to type that son of a bitch out every single time, and you guys obviously know that I'm the world's shittiest typing person. GUID. Oh god, here we go. Ingot discombobulator. Yeah. Oh, but we gotta give that some. So we'll give it a 1. We'll give it a 1. Take a sip. Tasty. Tasty. All right, now let's make this bad boy. And you see that I'm pretty much putting it where I've put everything else, because I'm a lazy bastard. Discombobulator. I already did it. Idle is going to equal a new... Oh, dude, I'm not even going to go there. Ingot masher. I know that you guys were like, oh, fuck, you're not even kidding, are you? Yeah, I have to be kidding, because we're not going to get anything done if I leave it as discombobulator. So ingot masher, and sorry for those of you who actually took me serious for a second and actually typed that whole son of a bitch out. My bad. Ingot masher is what we're going to name our block class, and so this is the off version of that. We're going to set the block name to ingot masher idle, and we're going to set our creative tab. Just like we have, and I'm doing it here. Do I have to do it here? No, I can actually do it in the block class. I hope that we've kind of established that flexibility at this point. What else did I do up here? Oh yeah, set hardness, because otherwise we can just punch it and it, it's done. So we want to have some kind of hardness on there. 3.5 float. Should I? No. Block ingot masher active, and that will also be ingot masher. We're just going to use the on version of it, so we're going to set our Boolean value to true. We're passing that along to our block class. Block name is going to be ingot masher active. We're not going to set the creative tab on this one for obvious reasons, because we don't want people to have access to the active version of this, like the running version of it, right? We only want to give them the non-running version, and we made that 3.5 float. So there we go. And that concludes this episode. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Like, you just got back, fucker. I'm still back. Ingot masher. Yeah. So, oh yeah, let's do this because I always end up like building everything, and I'm like, yes, let's go check it out, and then we go check it out, and I'm like, why the fuck isn't it there? Oh yeah, that's right, because I never registered it. A macho. I'm just all over the place tonight. Don't mind me, just typing, typing stuff. Ingot masher. What else do we need to do? We got some errors up here. Oh, that's because we haven't. Okay, yeah, so that's normal. He's doing it. He's actually going to do it. Can you believe it, folks? Can you believe it? So, tile dot ingot masher idle dot name is going to equal ingot masher. Whoa. There we go. So that's taken care of. Sweet. Yeah, we'll ignore that. I've been tinkering around. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. Ingot masher. So, let's get the outline of this going. Well, we know that this is going to be extends block container because it is a block and it's going to contain some items that we have. We're going to import this, and we're going to add our constructor, and we are going to add our unimplemented methods. Material. We do not need a material on here. We do, however, need a Boolean, and we are just going to call this block state. And we are going to, in our super, we will do material dot iron, because it's a machine. A machine. And let's go ahead and get our variables declared right up here. So, we are going to do a private random. We're going to do a private final Boolean, and like we did with the other one, this is active, so we're checking, hey, is this active or not? And this is important because this is how we alternate between our textures. Now this isn't, you'll notice that I said earlier that when I put fuel on, the block turns on. That's not where it actually does that whole thing. This is just saying, is it on or not? And if it's on, do the texture. I need to tell it later when it's actually on, because I was just saying that it was on when it had fuel, when it's not actually on when it has fuel. We'll get there. We'll get there. Private static Boolean, and we are going to do a keep inventory. So, and we're actually going to set this to false. So, why are we saying keep inventory false? Well, what we're saying is that when we mine the block, we want to dump everything out of it, right? We want to dump everything out of it. Now, I haven't experimented with this, but it's my assumption that if we set this to true, that we can pick up the block and it will leave the stuff in it. That's my understanding, but I haven't ever tried it. Maybe we'll try that. Let's try it. We might as well experiment a little bit and see what happens. We can do that. There's also a couple of things that we need to do as far as textures. So we are going to say at side only, and this is going to be side dot client, and we are going to have different textures. Now I'm pretty sure that when I have the textures, let me go find it over here in this folder where the textures are at. I'm pretty sure that I only had a front and the top, sides, and back were all the same. But let's check just to be sure. Yeah, that looks like what I did. So we have off and on, off and on. And I actually made the sides turn on as well, which is cool. So we'll just do side and front at this point. So we don't need that. We do need private icon front. And we can actually use the block icon for the sides, since that's all going to be the same. Import. Did I import the right one? Okay, I did. And let's initialize a couple more things here. We're going to say rand is going to be equal to new random. And we need to do something. It wants us to do something with block state. Oh, right. So we're going to say, is it active? Is going to be equal to is active. Did I do that? Right? No. Is active is going to be equal to block state. Crazy. So this is where we're passing along that Boolean statement, so that way we can use this later on. What are we going to use that for? The last and final method that we're going to be doing tonight. Or excuse me, not tonight. This episode. Side dot client, and that is going to be our public void register block icons, and that is going to be an icon register. Wow. Maybe I really just need to go out and get a Mavis Beacon course. What do you think? Comment below. This dot block icon is going to be our sides. So we are going to say that this is going to be equal to icon register dot register icon, which is going to be our mod ID plus one of these plus, and we're going to do a little this dot is active. So if it's active, what are we going to do? We are going to say ingot masher on, side on, because that's what these are. Ingot masher side on. Otherwise, it's going to be ingot masher side off. And we'll import that. So what are we doing? We're going to say that this block icon is going to equal this if isActive is true. Otherwise, we're going to do off. And we can actually just copy and paste this whole line in here. And rather than block icon, we're just going to use icon front, which we declared up here. And this isn't going to be side, it's going to be front, like so, and front like so. Now, homework that I have to do is I have to actually go out and create new textures for this, because I'm not going to be a jerk and just reuse the old one. I'm actually going to hop on a good foot and do the right thing. Let's do this as well while we're at it, and then we'll call it good for this episode at side only. Side dot client is going to be public icon get icon, and we are going to have inside int metadata. If you watch Scratch for fun, he says metadata. I believe that he is from Norway, and I sincerely mean go check him out. He's not like competition or anything like that. He's a phenomenal programmer. And side is equal to 3. This dot icon front. Let's give it a little spacey space in there. Otherwise, side is equal to metadata. This dot icon front. Otherwise, this dot block icon. Voila. And that's where we're going to stop for today. Is it? Yeah, that's where we're going to stop for today. So, got a good start going along. Save that, and that should clear up this error, shouldn't it? We got to do this. Protected. We want to make this public. I know everybody likes to leave off with no errors, so there we go. That's the start. So homework for me, I got to create textures for this bad boy. I have to create new textures for this bad boy. And when we get back, what we're going to do is we're going to do the textures, and we need to do our set block direction. So that way when we plink this bad boy down, it's facing in the right direction, right? Because if we were to just go in and start laying it down now, they're all going to point in one direction. So we'll work on that. So until next time, this is Neil. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.